Roasters. Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you for always watching and supporting the channel. Who do you think will win between Hercules versus Doomsday, the clash between myth and unkillable fury? Hercules is the son of Zeus, famous for his superhuman strength, unparalleled fighting ability, and indomitable courage. Not only possessing godly strength, Hercules also possesses superior healing ability, almost limitless endurance, and hand-to-hand combat skills that have been experienced for millennia. In Marvel, he has faced Thor, Hulk, and many other powerful entities, proving his position as one of the strongest characters. Doomsday is the symbol of pure destruction in the DC universe. Born from a brutal artificial evolution process, he has the ability to regenerate and resist anything that has killed him. Doomsday once killed Superman, something that few characters have been able to do, and each time he is defeated, he becomes stronger, immune to the previous attack. With terrifying physical strength, regenerative abilities, and pure brutality, Doomsday is a living nightmare. Before we dive into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Hercules is one of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology. He is considered the embodiment of physical strength, courage, and resilience. Even as a child, Hercules demonstrated his superior ability when he killed two great snakes sent by Hera to harm him. Throughout his life, he performed many incredible feats, typically the 12 labors assigned by King Eurystheus, including slaying the Nemean lion, defeating the multi-headed Hydra, and taming Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the underworld. The clearest proof of Hercules' power is that he once replaced Atlas to shoulder the sky for a short period of time. However, Hercules' end was tragic. Despite his extraordinary powers, he was indirectly murdered by the blood of the centaur Nessus. Nessus, before his death, had deceived Hercules' wife Deianira into believing that his blood could preserve her husband's love. When Hercules wore the blood-soaked shirt, the poison from Nessus' blood began to burn his body, leading to his painful death. As mentioned earlier, Hercules briefly assumed the role of holding the sky in place of the Titan Atlas. This was part of a series of trials that Hercules had to undertake, namely the task of gathering the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. Rather than enter the garden himself, which was heavily guarded by the Hesperides, daughters of Atlas, and protected by the goddess Hera, Hercules wisely proposed a deal. He volunteered to hold the sky in Atlas's place while the Titan retrieved the golden apples for him. Hercules was not simply a hero with superhuman physical strength, but also the embodiment of divine strength bestowed by the gods. He was considered the pure power of Olympus, representing the primordial and inviolable power. In addition to his physical strength, he also possessed extraordinary endurance and stamina far beyond that of any mortal. Herc was renowned for his fighting skills, mastering practically every martial art, including modern and ancient martial arts, boxing, wrestling, swordplay, archery, marksmanship, and was particularly good at Greek wrestling, Greek boxing, and even invented the martial art pancration, a combination of the two. With 3,000 years of combat experience, Herc possesses the most fearsome weapons in legend, such as the sword of Peleus, the shield of Perseus, the arrows of Heracles, the helmet of Hades, the Nemean lion skin, and the mighty adamantian mace, or even his entire arsenal. From spears, shields, to guns, combined with his raw physical strength and near unparalleled fighting skills, the God of Heroes is almost unrivaled in combat, and is easily known as one of the most formidable armed and unarmed warriors in the Marvel Universe, with only a few people who have the raw skill and strength to match, such as Thor or Gilgamesh. Hercules has demonstrated fighting ability that is on par with the warrior gods of Mount Olympus. He has fought Ares, the god of war, and was even able to force Ares to retreat. Not only that, Hercules was able to duel Apollo, the god of light and art, on equal terms, something very few beings or gods could do. He also defeated the Titans, the terrible beings who dared to challenge the gods on Mount Olympus in the Great War of the Gigantomachy. It is important to emphasize that while Hercules was able to stand shoulder to shoulder with gods like Ares or Apollo, or surpass many giants and titans like Atlas, his power was not at its absolute peak. What he displayed was enough to put him on par with a standard Olympian god. Not even Ares, Apollo, or the mighty titans could match the supreme power of Zeus, the ruler of Mount Olympus. Zeus was the embodiment of thunder, law, and absolute power in the Greek mythological universe. No other god or being could compete with him for supremacy, so while Hercules was a symbol of strength and courage, he was not yet at the level of omnipotence of his divine father. It would be interesting to see a battle between Hercules and Poseidon, who one might consider to be more powerful than the other gods, but even so, Poseidon was no match for Zeus in terms of power. When the gods tried to overthrow Zeus, they failed miserably, and when they fought Typhon, they fled in fear while Zeus fought him and after a failed attempt, defeated him in a rematch. Hercules' most iconic enemies in the Marvel Universe are Thor, the Asgardian god of thunder. Both characters possess superhuman strength, they have faced each other many times, and most of the battles have been evenly matched with no clear winner. One side is the Greek god known for his pride and bravery, the other side is the loyal and noble Asgardian warrior. Hulk, Marvel's famous green giant. Clashes between Hercules and Hulk are often depicted as massive clashes between two machines of limitless power and can cause enormous damage in each battle. However, while Hulk is often driven by rage and instinct, Hercules fights with the training, experience, and pride of a divine warrior. Hercules also had prominent enemies in classical Greek mythology. One of his greatest adversaries was Typhon, a mythical creature that represented chaos, destruction, and rebellion against the order of the gods on Mount Olympus. Typhon was described as a monster whose power far surpassed most mythological entities, enough to threaten Zeus's throne. Hercules assisted the gods in dealing with Typhon, demonstrating his role as not only a hero of humanity, but also a pillar of the divine order. Subscribe to the channel, it helps us a lot, and moreover, you will see great videos every day. You are the best, thank you very much. Doomsday is the embodiment of pure destruction, a mindless creature of immense power, created without purpose or ideal, but only for destruction. Doomsday's origins began with a cruel experiment conducted by a scientist named Bertrand on Superman's home planet of Krypton. Bertrand, in his ambition to create the ultimate being capable of absolute survival, used a barbaric method of forced regeneration. Through thousands of such cycles of death and resurrection, Doomsday gradually evolved into a nearly immortal being, not only immune to harsh environmental factors, but also possessing physical strength beyond limits. Doomsday can survive in the vacuum of space, withstand all forms of attack, and does not need food, water, or air to survive. In particular, he possesses extreme evolutionary adaptation. If defeated by a living being, he will resurrect with an upgraded biological structure that resists that method, becoming stronger and invincible to that opponent. Doomsday's power is so great that he was the first to kill Superman in a famous battle in the DC universe. Without emotions, reason, or morality, Doomsday cannot negotiate nor knows fear. He is simply a primal force that exists to destroy anything in his path. With infinite regeneration, the ability to learn through death, and an absolute killing instinct, through countless cycles of brutal evolution, Doomsday has finally reached a level of uncontrollable power. He has become strong enough to break free from any form of confinement and escape from a place considered impenetrable. Doomsday's freedom led him to Earth, and their encounter was one of the most brutal battles ever recorded in the DC universe. Not only is he physically comparable to Superman, ranging from conventional ballistics to extremely powerful energy blasts, his skin is so tough that it cannot be penetrated by conventional weapons or even the strongest heat beams from Superman's eye. Not only that, he has the ability to regenerate and adapt in real time, meaning that each time he is defeated, he is resurrected as a stronger version resistant to the type of attack that once defeated him. It is this evolutionary mechanism that makes Doomsday one of the greatest threats any hero has ever faced, possessing a level of destruction that even the most powerful beings are wary of. He was able to tear apart an area of the Phantom Zone, an isolated dimension used to hold those considered the greatest threats to Krypton. Doomsday also single-handedly wiped out thousands of members of the Green Lantern Corps, an intergalactic defense force powered by the universe's infinite energy rings. Doomsday has withstood and survived a series of explosions equivalent to the destructive power of 100 nuclear warheads. Doomsday's greatest strength is when he directly confronted Darkseid, one of the most dangerous godlike entities in the DC universe. Darkseid possesses the Omega Beam, one of the most powerful destructive energies that can penetrate time, space, and even souls. Doomsday not only stopped this ultimate energy beam, but also defeated Darkseid him. This is a feat that many other cosmic level entities fear, as Darkseid has shown power at the multiverse level in many versions. During the Rebirth era, Doomsday defeated Wonder Woman, one of the most powerful warriors of the Justice League, with just one punch, leaving her stunned. In another battle, he endured over 4,000 punches from Superman without weakening, something very few beings in the DC universe can do. Doomsday can be seen as a mindless and emotionless version of the Hulk in the Marvel universe. However, unlike the Hulk, who retains some of his humanity no matter how angry he gets, Doomsday is an emotionless destruction machine. Without the concept of morality or consciousness, he is unnegotiable, untouchable, and virtually unstoppable. Superman defeated Doomsday on Venus, but then he returned to Earth with the desire to defeat him even more. And Zod's punches did nothing to him. Wonder Woman has a sword that can cut through atoms that did nothing to Doomsday. Whenever New 52 Doomsday walks, everything disintegrates. Only New 52 Superman can handle the toxic fog for 10 minutes, with him being overrated by fans because Doomsday always wins in most of the battles he participates in. Please subscribe to the channel, it helps us a lot, and moreover, you will get to see great videos every day. You are the best. Thank you very much. In a dimension where multiversal entities come together to create a legendary arena called the Arena of the Gods, the most powerful beings in all realities are summoned to determine who is the greatest warrior. In the shaking atmosphere of the universe, two giant opponents, Hercules, the legend of Greek mythology, faces off against Doomsday, the embodiment of pure destruction. Hercules, with his powerful appearance and the divine aura emanating from his muscles, is the one who strikes first. His attack carries a terrifying power, creating a shockwave that spreads far and wide, causing the ground in the arena to crack open and the space to shake violently like an earthquake. The mastery of ancient martial arts and the wisdom of a divine warrior, Doomsday roars in anger, receiving the first blow without retreating. He uses his bare hands to block the blow, his indestructible body showing no signs of being damaged. He counterattacked with a punch of primal power, enough to crush a mountain into ashes. Each of Doomsday's attacks was like an uncontrollable tornado that swept away everything in its path. Hercules displayed remarkable agility. With the experience of hundreds of battles, he knew how to exploit the opponent's weaknesses, using ancient fighting techniques to continuously dodge, counterattack, and steer the battle in an advantageous direction. However, despite putting all his strength into precise and tactical strikes, Hercules gradually realized something terrifying. Doomsday was not an opponent that could be defeated by pure strength. Each time he was knocked down, Doomsday quickly got up, seemingly not feeling any pain. He gradually adapted to Hercules' fighting style, causing previously effective attacks to begin to lose their effectiveness. That was his most terrifying trait, the ability to evolve in battle, learning through damage and then surpassing his original limits. In that fateful moment, Hercules summoned all the divine power bestowed upon him from Mount Olympus. The divine aura exploded around him, creating a massive wave of energy that lit up the dark battlefield. With the power of the gods converging, Hercules' attack, Divine Wrath. The blow came down like an angry meteor, crushing an entire majestic mountain range in an instant. However, the figure of Doomsday appeared in the rubble. He not only survived but also recovered almost instantly. His body adapted to the moderate damage he had suffered, evolving at a pace that would have surprised any living creature. Hercules' attacks, imbued with divine energy, were ineffective against him. Doomsday was not only immune, but stronger, tougher, and more dangerous than ever. Hercules, though his body was worn out, his breathing was labored, and his strength was drained with each blow, still gripped his massive mace as if his will was forged from the very core of the universe. With a roar that resounded throughout the space, he poured all his physical strength into a single blow of absolute destruction. The punch penetrated Hercules' solid defense, not only breaking his defense but also delivering a fatal blow to the hero's core. Hercules fell, not dead, but unconscious. But against unlimited evolution, it is hopeless. The winner is Doomsday. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thank you very much.